All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Daniel Federico Show. Today, we have my good friend MCFESTY joining us. And McFesty, before we were talking, you were telling me some good news, and because, bro, I appreciate you so much. You've helped me with my commentating career. Plug what you are, what your actually short film is going into.
Appreciate you guys. It's my boy Daniel Federico. So, big ups to him. But recently my short film, or more so documentary, Weaving Dreams, just got accepted to the Hamilton Film Festival. So, make sure y'all tune into that. October 21st. I believe that's the day it's streaming at like 10 p.m. So, y'all make sure you tap into that. Good stuff.
If I can tell my younger self anything, I tell myself not to do it. My name is Ryan Chioyo, and
Tap into that. Good stuff.
People will for sure be tapping into that. I'm hoping. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna support you. All right, I got you. Yeah, you got my word. I'm gonna be there. But today we're gonna be talking about the National Basketball Association, some NBA preseason kicks off this Thursday, October 2nd.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
so it's coming fast. The season is coming fast. McFesty, what topics do you want to talk about today with the NBA? I know it was a crazy off season, pretty decent draft.
Pretty
Uh,
decent draft. Cooper Flag's doing his thing. We kind of know what we can expect from him. Especially, he's on a great team to be on. He's on Dallas. Kyrie just re-signed with them, so he's going to have some good talent there. Anthony Davis, another great talent there. Dallas was, everyone was all about, oh, Luka left. Luka left. Well, they were kind of cooking.
they
Dallas is
are.
kind of cooking for the long run, and I actually have zero idea how they got the first pick. It actually makes zero sense.
It's fixed. It's
Some,
fixed.
some fraudulent things were happening with the commissioner. Said, all right, we got Luka to the Lakers, give Braun a little buddy to play with, and we're just gonna get Cooper Flag. That's some deals under the table are happening.
It's
But no,
yeah.
Dallas is looking pretty solid. Cooper Flag is looking good. I saw some rivalry with him and Bronny in summer league. It was looking pretty good. Even Bronny, a little iffy on him, on how legitimate he is as an NBA player. I know a lot of people feel like he should be in the G League, and honestly, when he plays G League, he plays pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm all for him developing in the NBA. We're not expecting him to be LeBron James. That's
Yeah.
what people need to get out the door.
Yeah.
He's not going to be LeBron
There's
James.
only one LeBron James in the world. Even though he is Bronny James
Right.
Jr., LeBron James Jr., but he doesn't play like his father. And he never
Exactly.
no one will. No one
No
in
one.
the world will ever play like LeBron James.
And their size is just so different. You
Yeah.
have LeBron at 6'9", and you have Bronny at 6'3".
Yeah.
Just a big difference right there. They're going to play different positions. They're going to play the ball different. So, I think people need to give him a little bit of a break.
You
Hopefully, a couple years down the line, maybe he ends up being a Raptors. Who knows?
That'll sell a lot of tickets. But do you think Bronny's going to be spending majority of the year? I think he is. But do you think he's going to spend majority of the year in the G League once again, just for development reasons?
I think first half of the season he will, but I wouldn't be surprised before All-Star break. He really gets that calling for the Lakers. It just depends on the Lakers rotation. The Lakers are in a bit of a sticky situation right now. They lack size. They really do lack size, and Bronny essentially is not that filler piece. They just signed DeAndre Ayton, so that's a first round pick right there.
Yeah.
That's a first round. So maybe they're going to get that out of him. He wasn't horrible at Phoenix, but we've seen over the years how Phoenix has changed so many times on
Yeah.
who their focus was. It was once him, then Devin Booker, then Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. We have so many faces that have gone to Houston, not Houston, my part, Phoenix,
Yeah.
and it's just been too much. And I think honestly, this can be a good rebrand for DeAndre Ayton, and I wouldn't be surprised if he can give us 16 and 12. And if you can give
16 and
16 and
12.
12,
Okay.
16 points, 12 rebounds, That's all we need. That's all the Lakers would need.
Is he the key to the Lakers' success this year, upcoming success, if they do have success?
Honestly, the key to the Lakers' success is Luka.
Okay.
And the reason
Yeah.
why I say that, we know what we can get from LeBron James. We know LeBron's going to give us 25, 7, and 7 throughout his career. He's going to give you that. You know he's going to give you at least 60 games in a season. That's what you can get out of LeBron James. But Luka, we're going to need MVP
MVP
performances.
performance from Luka Doncic.
They can't have a guy from Hamilton taking the MVP every year, chat. You just can't do it.
It's pretty cool though. It's pretty cool having Shea. I heard Shea was actually at Mohawk. Yeah, and
Yes.
he was at McMahon. He's making his rounds. He's making his ways around. That's pretty cool. But
And
what
it's
do you?
amazing.
But before we go into OKC and Shea, um, what do you expect from the Lakers? Like, are they going to be a championship contender, or are they just going to be a playoff contender?
And honestly, I think if they have any hopes of being a real contender right now, just looking at who's available from the top free agents, you have Russell Westbrook that he tried that with the Lakers, didn't work out
Yeah,
well. If Lakers can get, bet that's the thing. Lonnie Walker is a big man that he's a forward that can play there.
could be added.
But
Could be a good add to the bench.
But then you start getting real young and real less experienced with the next biggest person, as in Keon Brooks. And he had his time in New Orleans, but he was behind Hayes. And Lakers, they're honestly they're going to need the MVP performance. They have the team. They
Yeah.
have the. I truly believe Luka, LeBron James, and Aiden. That's your big three. They can get you there. That three can get you there, but they're going to need an MVP season out of Luka, and he's going to have to stay healthy. He's going to have to.
And I think he can. I think he will stay healthy. I think he can. But what? Let's see. Let's go off. We're gonna keep it. Let's see. What do you expect from OKC? Do you think they two-peat? What do you expect from them after having such a successful year last year? One of the craziest success.
One of the craziest, most
Craziest
consistent.
success. Like Kevin Durant and Russ couldn't do it when they were there.
Do it.
But it takes a kid from Canada, Hamilton, Ontario, Shea
Hamilton.
Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, to win MVP, Finals MVP, and the championship. What do you expect from them this season?
I expect the same out of them. I think they're going to give you a good 68 games. Yeah, but they're going to give you a good 68 game, 14 losses. I don't see them two-peating.
Okay.
I don't see them repeat. I think it's so hard to repeat.
Yeah.
And from that OKC roster, it, a lot of good things happened for them. A lot of good placement, playoff, who they're facing in that West. A lot of good placement happened. Injuries. There was just things that happened in that order that the consistency, consistent. Because at the end of the day, if anyone believes that Indiana team should have went to Game 7,
Yeah.
that's a struggle. Indiana should not be going to Game 7 with OKC.
Yeah.
Crazy performances that we saw.
Yeah.
But if their star player doesn't get injured in the finals, are we still having the same conversation?
And I don't think so. I do not think we are.
I think Indy could have got that one. I
Yeah.
really think
I think
Indy.
dude, what do you see from Indy this coming up season?
Ah,
Do you see that you think they can make it back?
I think it's one of those Cinderella stories, man. It was
Okay.
beautiful.
All right.
Buzzer. If you have 5 buzzer beaters,
Yeah. Yeah. It is a Cinderella story. It's a beautiful Cinderella story.
it's beautiful, man. It was beautiful, and honestly, like that's what kids dream about.
Yeah.
Being that star player in a dead franchise, a franchise that doesn't go to the finals, a franchise that doesn't win. Your best franchise history players is Reggie Miller or it's Paul George. You either have to pick one, and Paul George is still playing. So you really got to
Yeah.
think about where Indiana has come from and gone over the years. And this year was really that March Madness Cinderella story for them. And
And it
it's a
did have that March
shame.
Madness feel. It really did.
It
That's
really
a great
did.
way to put it. It did. But they'll make the playoffs for sure. You think they'll make the playoffs again? I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, That's the thing
But
in
but you
the
think
East.
but if I'm gonna elaborate, it's gonna be like a close to a playing tournament to
Yes.
making it in. That's what I think though. You think the same?
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely because look, they finished 50 wins, 32 losses. So just right there, that's a it's a difference maker. That means you're different, but now you lost your star player. You lost your star player to injury. He's going to be out for a good chunk. Maybe you get him back during All-Star break. But in that time span, that crunch before that, I think it's really hard for teams, especially he wasn't having an MVP regular season, but
Yeah,
that was still their number one player.
yeah.
So that's where you lose that. Your team's going to have to do a lot of adjusting. But we've seen teams in the past lose their star player for a temporary time and bounce back, played the system right. They're in the East. So the East is one of those lucky places where,
It is.
you can lose a good amount of games and still get that playoff run.
That's right. You're correct. Where do you? So now let's go into these. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the Boston Celtics. What do you think the Celtics are going to do this season? Do you think they're going to have a successful season? Or you think they're going to go back out on top?
I think they're good content. I think Celtics are top three team in the East, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And it's I really like top three, top four. I think it's Celtics, Cavs. Depending on how Giannis and the Bucks negotiate that deal.
Yeah.
You got Giannis there. He's I don't consider the Bucks and Giannis they're two different entities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Giannis, if he wants to be there, they're there. If he's not there, they're
Yeah,
they're they're not
yeah.
they're not good.
Milwaukee's probably nothing without Giannis. Giannis is their
Yeah.
key star. And then also like another team out of the East is the New York Knicks. They're a
Yes.
sneaky team. They're a sneaky team, and they've been a sneaky team for I'd say the last 2 3 years.
I think they can go to the finals.
Yeah,
I think they have the depth. I think the thing about the difference between the Knicks, in my opinion, between the Knicks and the Celtics is that depth. You have a guy that he doesn't care about passing the ball. He wants
right.
to get everybody involved. But the best part is he's playing with his friends. He's
Yeah,
playing with guys he likes. Like these are guys that played college together. Now they're playing NBA. This is what they dreamed about.
yeah.
The Knicks are hungry for that ring. Getting rid of Julius Randle could have been the greatest thing for them,
It could have probably
truly,
been the best. Yeah, you're right. It could have been the
because
best thing for them. Yeah,
Cat is a top three center in the NBA.
yeah.
Not even close. Top three.
I
He
agree with
just
you on
gets
that
the
one.
job done. And I'm really putting it like this. Cat, Wemby, and I'll give it. Maybe he's not a top three. He's top five.
Top
Maybe
five.
top
Yeah,
five.
we'll go with top five.
Top five. Top five. I was proud about Jokic to go. Top five. And the centers have been pretty good in the NBA recently.
They have
Centers
been.
have been pretty
They've
good.
been one of the best players on their teams for a majority of that. Because look at the big names they are in the NBA at center. And like when they win a championship, all those guys are make a playoff push, make a playoff run. It's going behind the center. It's going
They're going down.
through. The ball's going through the center.
Same as OKC. Like you've seen their center. They have another 7-foot giant.
Yeah.
So I think that we just see a pattern on all these teams that you need that center, and I don't believe the Celtics have that. They just lost Al Horford. He's going to Golden State. He just signed today. Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah,
He
Kuminga.
signed a re-sign with Golden State. Golden State's looking pretty good.
Do you think after how last year went for Golden State, you think they make a step up now, or do you think that roster needed a little more shaking up?
I think Golden State had to get rid of Klay Thompson. I kind of think they have to get rid of Draymond as well, but I
I
think that
agree with
roster has
that
to
one.
get shaken up a little bit. They had to switch up the chemistry. They had their dynasty. They had their dynasty.
Yeah,
And
is it safe to say that their dynasty is over? It's over.
exactly.
It
It's
is
a
100% over.
new era. It's a
Yeah.
new era now. And for every new era, the Golden State, what they have to do is they got to start thinking life after Stephen Curry.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
That's what
because
they have to do.
Steph's in his 30s now.
Mid
He's leaning
30s,
leaning
mid
to the end of
30s.
his career. When are they gonna start thinking post Curry? Because they can't think of post Curry when he's actually gone. That's not how you rebuild your program. You bring in a replacement when
Bring
you
in a
know he has a
replacement.
couple years left.
Because best case scenario right now, Curry gives you, in my opinion, one more MVP season.
I like that, and it could be this
One,
year.
And it could be, and that's what I'm saying. It could
It's
be this
but it's for
year.
sure gonna happen in the next 3 years. One of his last MVP like seasons are gonna happen within the next 3 years, I think.
It gets a little sticky because at the end of the day, they finished seventh. Like, look at they're 48, 34. Like the West is so competitive. You have to make those pushes and you
Yeah.
have to make them quick. You have teams like the Spurs on the come up. You have the Kings that are on the come up. You have a lot of the Grizzlies like drop. You have a lot of young teams on the come up, and you have an old veteran guard.
Yeah.
What's the next move of them? And they're not draft. That's the one other thing about the Warriors. They're
Yeah.
not drafting well. And
They're
when I
not.
say
They're drafting terrible. A couple
drafting
of years ago,
terrible.
who did they draft a couple of years ago? What's his name? That everyone thought he was gonna be really good. Injury really set him back.
Oh, the center, the big man, like
James
Marvin
Wise.
Beck,
J-
some
I'm thinking James Wiseman. James Wiseman.
Wiseman, yes,
Yeah,
yeah, because then the
Wiseman.
G League, right?
Yeah. They got him in the G League. He was so promising because he had that good year. His first rookie season. It was actually not great, but it was pretty promising. And then nothing came from it. But they're not drafting
Exactly.
well, and that's an issue. And that's what's gonna scare them. And I think that's what NBA. I think that's what Golden State fans are worried of is that post Curry, they're not going to be irrelevant. They're going to be nothing because they're not
Exactly.
drafting well, and maybe but free agents always fly in the NBA. So they might be able to cash on a massive free agent. But
Um,
right now, free agents come to the team now just to play with Curry.
exactly. There's only guards that are left in this free agency currently right now. They kind of messed up. Maybe they could have tried to get Kevin Durant before he went to Houston, but he's gone there now. So it's one of those ones where Jimmy Butler, again, great player, not MVP player. He's had
Yeah,
MVP performances. He's had MVP performances, MVP stretches in the playoffs. I'll give him credit. Great stuff on the Miami Heat, but that's not enough in the West. That's not enough.
it's not. The West is so competitive compared to the East. The East is you can squeeze in with 44 wins. Maybe
Yeah,
46 wins. In the
I mean,
West, you're not squeezing in with anything below probably 45 wins. That's just how competitive the
you're
West
not
is. And you got so many big names too in the West Conference. Is
too
that
many.
just way too many? It's damn near a different league over there compared to the East.
But even hear this for a second. Curry played 70 games for Golden State this year. Not injury. Average 24.
Yeah,
That's Curry this year. 24. Jimmy Butler 17. That's a big jump down.
yeah, it's a big gap.
Andrew Wiggins another 17. You got two players that are going to give you the same production. Andrew Wiggins and Jimmy Butler, they're the same player.
Yeah,
Andrew Wiggins is now on Miami Heat, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you got the same player back. You need some like LeBron lost Anthony Davis, got Luca. That makes a difference.
it makes a massive difference.
It,
It changes the whole dynamic right there.
it changes the dynamic, and Golden State they're not doing enough. Like, they're not doing enough for what this league needs. If Golden State was really trying to make something happen, they would sign Cam Thomas. They would sign he's a good guard.
Okay.
From New York Nets. They get Cam Thomas. He's going to you get him through trade because sign and trade and everything. Like, they can get him through there. And that's kind of your new angle. He's a high volume shooter, but he gets the job done. So I think that's an angle they should definitely look into it. Or sometime I doubt they'll do it. I don't think they have the guts to really do this. But you give Curry up before he finishes.
Yeah. I respect that because you give up on, no, not give up on, but trade him or something. Get some
Yeah,
value.
get
Get some
some value
value for
out
him.
of him.
Yeah,
And like honestly, I would love for Curry to be on the Spurs. I think him and I think that
that'd
would
be
be a
sweet.
great combination. But there's not a lot of places where I think you could trade Curry. Not a lot
Yeah,
of places so
and there's probably not a lot of places that Curry even wants to go
want
to.
to go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so and I like that what you were saying that trade him so you get some value for him. Don't trade him this year or next year, but trade him when like how many years does he have left on his deal?
Yeah, let me
Curry?
hurry because he shouldn't have that much. Let me look.
Yeah, yeah. Google that for a second. But whatever he has, trade him before it because you don't know how many years he's gonna actually have left for producing at a high value. Get some pieces for him. If this year is a scratch off, I could see Curry. This could be Curry's last year. If just something terrible goes wrong. If something terrible goes wrong across the board for the Golden State Warriors, I could only see this being Curry's last year just because he's nearing that age of
Yeah.
where people are going to start talking about is Chris Curry's last year. When is Curry's last year? He's at that
He's
age now.
gonna
We're talking
retire
about.
soon. He
Yeah,
has 2 years left on his contract. So after 2026-2027 season, free agent, he probably retires.
and,
He's
and instead
35.
of letting him walk for free or re-upping him, trade him maybe if this year's a scratch. If the, like, scratch, I mean terrible, going
It
bad.
have to
It's
be, like it would have to be sooner than later. It really
yeah,
would.
get value for him. A lot of draft picks. Don't even have to be players. Get a lot of draft picks and
Doesn't
actually
draft
draft
picks.
smart.
But even I would say like one thing we've realized over the years how good European players are
Yeah,
in the NBA. So I feel like
yeah,
they should really try to start shopping Europe wide, and maybe that can be their next. Find their next Luca, find the next Jokic, find the next Wemby, like these are Giannis. Like we're seeing a whole place players that are not in the USA
yeah.
that are dominating the NBA.
If you just
I
go
think,
look at the Euro League, the Euro Basketball League, it is
yes,
damn near the closest thing you ever see to the NBA. And if not, the
honestly,
fans are better than the NBA in the
the
European
crowds are
leagues.
crazy.
Yeah,
The crowds are wild.
and you can find a lot of good talent over there. And even with the prospects, like 18 years old, 17 years old.
But the best part is, like for example, Luca was playing at 16 on teams over there in
Yeah,
Euroleague,
yeah,
winning MVPs. Find those players, draft them when they're 18, and
yeah,
develop them. In
yeah.
3-4 years, you have a phenom.
In
But
3, 4 years, your franchise will be saved.
saved. And that's when you really gotta say to yourself, and that's one thing about OKC, which they did real good on. They gave away they got all these draft picks from all these teams. Once they made some big trades, they're like, hey, Paul George, on him, you only have to give us all these picks.
Yeah,
And they traded with teams that aren't winners. They traded with teams that aren't going to win a chip.
yeah.
So they're going to get decent draft picks back. So it worked out for them, man. It really did.
But one team I also want to talk about too. Obviously, we're not going to talk about every single team in this what I like to what I like to call upcoming predictions or so whatever. But it's a Canadians show. You're a Raptors fan. I'm a Raptors fan. Let's talk about the Toronto Raptors in their upcoming
Yes,
season.
sir.
I do think they have a couple talent, a couple guys that are very talented. I think this is a talented roster. Raw talent. I think it's a raw talent. A raw roster, great talent. Or other way
Bringing
around.
and
Other way around.
but no, I think bringing in Brandon Ingram was honestly a phenomenal move
Unreal
for us.
move. Sweet
Like
move.
sweet move,
Sweet.
honestly. Because I think at the end of the day, you don't see talent like that leave often.
Yeah.
You don't. Not at that point in his career. And this is I feel like it's going to be a breakout season for him.
I think that too. I think that with him playing with Scotty and Grady Dick, they're gonna
Yes.
and RJ. I think it's gonna be a breakout year just for this type of core players for the Toronto Raptors.
Even AJ Lawson, like they are bringing in
AJ Loss is another
they're
great
bringing a
player.
great core. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this, they're bringing back the Raptors that it felt like 2019 again.
Boom.
And Brandon Ingram's our guy.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
not expecting Scotty, and that's the best part. RG Barrett and Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram and Grady, like there's just too many levels. I feel like on this main core roster, and then all we got to do is develop the bench. The Raptors are already known for rebounding. They're already known for hustling. Now and I was a little bit disappointed that we gave away Davion Mitchell. I was a bit disappointed by that one.
Yeah, I thought he
I
was gonna
think
be really. Yeah, I thought we could have saw some pros in him, but just didn't feel like they wanted to develop him, or he just wasn't in the plans.
exactly. And he's a young guy guard. He's a young guard with other young guards on our team.
Yeah,
So
like
you
with
know, playing
quickly and
time.
stuff too.
Yeah, exactly. And quickly is good.
Yeah,
Quickly is good. And I think over time, I know these guys are grinding this whole summer. Like I see this Raptors roster. Honestly, Brandon Ingram, I believe he's going to give us. Honestly, it's going to be. I think it's a breakout season for him. So I'm going to say 27. He's going to
okay.
give us
I would
27,
love
28.
that. I
Yeah, I
would
think he's going
love
to give us
that.
27 because this is the first time again in his career when he's not in a rookie setting of
Facts.
I'm the number one. Like
Yeah, he doesn't
this
have to be
country,
the number one guy here.
it
Yeah,
doesn't have to, but he is. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like everyone on that roster don't understand you're the best player on this team,
yeah,
but this is our team. You just came, so like he's not the veteran. He's not. He doesn't have that pressure. Like oh shit, like this is my team. Like this is RJ's team. Like this is Scotty Barnes' team. But Brandon, you're a guy.
yeah,
You're the
yeah,
guy
yeah.
from here.
You're a guy.
Like
Come out here.
yeah,
Come play with us.
let's
Like,
win a ring. In
yeah,
2 years, mark my words, the Toronto Raptors are going to be back on the scene. We didn't make the playoffs this year. It happens. The East, like, honestly, we were tanking a little bit at the end. I think we
yeah,
were really,
they're taking a little bit. And honestly,
we wanted Flag. We wanted
yeah,
Cooper. We wanted
yeah.
Cooper.
We
I
want to
can't
Cooper Flag, man, and I still can't. I'm still. Can't, someone got to call out the league for that for Cooper Flag getting the first overall pick
Project
or
stuff,
that Mavs.
man.
That's right. But what I think is I do think this Raptors team is going to make the playoffs. Play-in tournament actually. I'll say play-in tournament.
Okay.
I think there'll be a play-in tournament team just because they're not there yet. I think they're I don't want to say they're a couple players away, but I want to say I think they're a couple players that they already have. A couple players need to be developed still away to being a perfect bench, having a perfect starting five. Injuries are going to happen, and it matters if they start out fast or slow and when the regular season comes. Because if they start out slow like they usually do year in and year out, it's just going to derail all the fans. But if they start out hot,
Hot.
it's going to be amazing because people are going to have hope. The city of Toronto is going to have hope. Right now, we have hope
Fast.
for the Toronto Blue Jays when they
Oh,
start
this
the
has been
playoffs
great.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
They used to have hope for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but we want hope. Toronto fans of Toronto need some hope.
Yeah.
Just like 2019 for this
Team.
Raptors team. And I think they can do it. I think there'll be a play-in team this year. Hopefully better make the playoffs, but they're not going to make a run. They're not going to
I
do any
think
of
they
that.
are.
But
I think they are.
but you think they can make a run in the playoffs?
I believe the Raptors have the best wing team in the NBA right
I
now.
like that. Okay.
I think we're the best wing team. I think we have the best forward combination of small forward, power forward, because Brandon Ingram, you have Scotty Barnes, and we have our draft pick, Colin Boyles. So I think at the end of the day, you have a top 10 pick right there in our rotation as a wing player. Honestly, I'm looking at a lot of teams right now. They have a top guard, they have a center, they have a wing, they have a center. Like there's not a lot of
Yeah. A lot of
wing to
combinations
wing
going on.
combination.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna dominate the small ball. I feel
I really like that. I really like that prediction, and I think it could totally be true. But
yeah.
injuries are always going to come in a factor, and
Yeah.
now we're going to depend on a bench. I'd say before the All Star break and maybe after the All Star break, where the injuries usually start piling up, just because how long a season is. We're going to be depending on our bench probably for a month of the season, I would just expect. Because I don't see Brandon Ingram playing 82 games, Scotty playing
I don't.
82.
Yeah, no,
Like,
no.
none of those guys are going to play 82 games.
Yeah.
We'll be surprised if they play, I would say, majority of them play 71 games.
I think Ingram's been an injury-prone player throughout his career. That's one that's he got traded while injured.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, which is crazy, but that's been a problem for him. So I can just kind of hope for getting 60 games on him. Hopefully,
But
I'll be real happy.
The good thing about Toronto is they know how to do load management. That's why I don't.
Yeah.
That's why. But if we have a good enough bench and they have a lot of players on load management, like Brandon Ingram, like Scotty Barnes. RJ's probably going to need it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Some games off, and we can be like, hey, our bench is good enough, like we had with Kawhi Leonard in 2019, where he could take any night off. He'd
Yeah,
still
and
do the
that's the
job.
thing. we had our star player allowed to take those nights off, which
Yeah,
makes a difference because he's going to perform at 100% when he needs to, and
yeah.
that's what we care about.
And that's the playoffs. That's what everyone cares about. Is the playoffs is when you care about. Is all we all care about.
So, would you want Russell Westbrook possibly joining the Toronto Raptors as a veteran guard to kind of help this team in that playoff run, but also that bench? If he was, I think it was kind
If
of a
he's
struggle.
okay with coming on like as a sixth man with a rotation, 110%. Because I want to see what these young guys can do first.
Okay, and that's where
But if he goes, no, I need to start right away. I would say yes because Russ is still a good player. But at the same time, though,
he's a different
I
type
don't
of
know.
player.
But if the locker room is if these guys are a tight knit group,
Yeah.
and you bring in Russ as a veteran that's been around the whole league. Does the locker room start getting quiet, start worshiping him, be started
Yeah.
like teach me your ways? They just because right now, if you just send a bunch of young guys out there with minimum veteran presence, they're going out there to have fun and they're gonna go win
Yeah.
games. They love to win football basketball games, but what I think with Russ, what he would do, I think he would come in, help right away. Obviously, he'd probably set
He
this
wants a
team
ring.
over.
He
Yeah,
wants a
he
ring.
wants the ring. He would step the boys up a lot higher. Their bar would be set a lot higher. But at the same time, I don't want to. If I was the coach, I don't want to mess with any type of chemistry we have in that locker room right now. Just because how the season ended last year, they all looked like they were having a good time. They're all
They
close.
are. They're
And when you
looking.
have chemistry like that, because Brandon Ingram was still there, even though he was hurt, he was still with that chemistry.
Mhm.
If you just mess up that chemistry, bringing in a veteran player that kind of doesn't seem like he likes to have fun. He just likes to win games though, but he doesn't like to be one of the boys sometimes in the locker room. That could totally mess up the whole dynamic on the court. That's what I think. That could be a bad take, good take, but that's what I just believe.
No, I definitely believe that chemistry can definitely get changed in the locker room depending when you bring in such a big star
Yeah,
that's been around the league. He's a former MVP. We can't
yeah,
even call him a star, an MVP
yeah.
to your locker room. A lot of the guys on the team, they were using Russell Westbrook in the video games, you know?
Yeah,
He was
yeah, they're
on
gonna
the
worship him. That's what I
walls.
think. They're gonna
Yeah.
worship him. But now he's your teammate. You gotta lock
But
in.
you got to lock in. But hopefully, like the kind of way I view Russell Westbrook, just from at least his time in in Denver, I kind of hope that like he's the type of guy that you can bring on your team and he's going to try to do whatever he can to help. I think that's
Yeah.
the way he's always been. So if he needs to be there to help your guards be the best them, I hope that he can do that. And I wouldn't want him just for 1 year. I'd want Russ on like a 2, 3 year.
Yeah, yeah. 2,
Uh,
3 would be
it'll be
perfect.
it would be perfect because I want him to actually time with those guys like for a couple of years, and then maybe we see how the league moves and shifts. Maybe we just get one more piece to really lock in that but maybe Brandon Ingram's at peace. I kind of believe it. I
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
believe that
maybe
Brandon Ingram's at
it
peace.
really depends on him. But I could see always them making a big move at the deadline this year if they're just one piece away and they know they're just let's say they're in like the 11th spot. What is it? Is it 7 to 10 do the play in this year in the conference or something like that?
Yeah,
I think
something
it's
like
seven.
that.
I think it's 7th to 10th.
To do the play-in, yeah,
Yeah, to the plan. But if they're in like the 11th place, they're just on the verge of the plan,
they're on the
or even
verge.
if they're just on the verge of just getting that, going strictly to the playoffs, like in their sixth place, but they're in the seventh right now. They're just in that little medium right there, like 6th to 11th. They're gonna make one big move, and I can see that one big move will be a guard.
Hope so. I really hope so. That big move, it needs to be a guard. It needs to be that
Yeah,
they ball in the hand. They gotta
ball in the hand.
make the play.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, I see the Raptors being the old Celtics, and I
okay.
say that as in Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis. We've seen the development that even I gotta really put in what's that short Isaiah Thomas. We've
Uh,
seen the development and pieces and Kyrie Irving, all those pieces that were thrown on that Boston team, and then we saw when they got that ring. You get what
yeah,
I'm saying? So I think the Raptors need to get some additional pieces to really give your core stars that mentality, that motivation, and that skill. You think I'm not sure if the Celtics ever win that ring if they never had Kyrie Irving on that team. You know, he didn't win with them at that time, but
But he
at
was
the end of the
with them
day,
into development. Yeah,
exactly, he
he was with
developed
them
those
into
players.
development.
So
Yeah.
I hopefully the Raptors can really lock in because at the end of the day, the East, I think there's at the end of the day, there's like
The East
five
could be
teams.
wide open. Just not first
Exactly.
place, but like the top three I think are locked in with the three best teams already in. But the fourth to play in,
Fourth to
that's
play
wide open, I think.
things can switch. Fourth to
Yeah.
play a 5 game hot streak on a team can make that to be that switch. You know,
Yeah.
because you also have teams like Orlando that they're stepping up. Paulo Banchero, you know, he's a big factor in the East. He's probably top 6 players in the East
Yeah.
individually. He was injured last season after he scored a 50 ball. So you have
Yeah.
players like that are doing it. You have Giannis in the Bucks.
And you have the young guns in Charlotte,
Yes,
but
LaMelo.
they're always going to be a mess. Those guys just love playing basketball.
LaMelo's hungry.
But
He's
LaMelo
hungry.
Ball is a hungry player, and he wants
Hungry.
to see the playoffs. I do not see them missing the playoffs because I think LaMelo is like, I'm done with losing. Let's go win some basketball
No,
games.
honestly, you know, I think LaMelo wants a ring. LaMelo is one of those players that I don't know if Charlotte, like, I don't know if the
I don't
Hornets,
think the roster's there. Obviously, the
yeah,
roster's playing, but I want to see. I think the play that LaMelo plays at, the level he plays at, he's good. Obviously, if they're not going to make the playoffs, I don't see them making the playoffs just this year. I don't even see
yeah,
them making the play-in. I think they're going to be a really bottom team in the East or a mediocre team in the East. That's just my prediction. Doesn't have to be anybody's prediction. It's my prediction.
I hear
I
that.
just see that because how last year goes, since injuries start piling up because they're such a young team.
19 wins.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, like terrible, just terrible. But I think after this year, after how bad last year went, the year before, now how bad this year's most likely gonna go, LaMelo's gonna demand something. Yo, get me some players. Get
who
me
wants to
some
go
players.
there?
I want to win. And if you don't want to win, I'm gonna go and find another team that wants to win.
Who's gonna go there?
Yeah,
Who's? I think LaMelo's in one of those situations where Damian Lillard was in that, and Damian Lillard's back in that situation. He just went back to Portland,
yeah.
but he's in a buried franchise.
Where no one wants to go play. Like, no one wants
No
to go
one
play in Portland. Nobody wants to go
wants
play in Charlotte. They
like
want to go
what's
play for
different?
the big market teams.
They want to go to New York. They want to
Yeah.
go to the Lakers. They want to go to Clippers. Like they want to go to Houston. Like
Yeah.
those are big markets. People don't want to. People don't even want. Like Giannis won with Milwaukee. No one wanted to be a Buck. You know
Until
what I
he,
mean?
yeah, until they started popping off.
Like
Giannis made it a great time being in Milwaukee. Says no one ever.
no one ever.
Says no one
We,
ever.
we made Indiana look cool this year,
Yeah.
but big time players are not saying, "Oh, Indiana just had a good run. Let me
Yeah.
try to go there." We didn't see Kevin Durant say that. Houston is a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Houston is a pretty good team. They came second in the West, so I gotta really respect them.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's a big difference in Houston and Hornets. You know, like,
Yeah.
people want to go to Houston.
Yeah.
Kevin wants to go to Houston. James Harden wants to go to Houston.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard wants to go to
Big
Houston.
players-
Chris Paul want to go to Houston.
Big players want to go to Houston. Big players want to go play in Texas, period. So you can see San
Exactly.
Antonio getting a lot of free agents. You can see
Yeah.
just that the people just want to go to big markets. Big players want to go play with other big players in big
San
markets.
Antonio's a bit interesting though, because
Yeah.
I think and you know, shout out to Coach Pop. You know, I think one of the greatest coaches to ever
Needs
do
to
the
retire
game.
though before he gets seriously. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like needs to
no,
retire. Love
yeah.
him. Been a legend in the game for so
Yeah.
long, but
I want to see
health,
him happy. You know.
yeah, health becomes an issue. You
Yeah.
gotta take it seriously, and you can't coach in the NBA anymore. I think that's just my take. Go,
No, I agree. Like,
Go
you know,
on.
he's a GOAT. You know,
Yeah,
you've
he's
done
the
what you
GOAT.
had to do. You won your rings. Wemby gave him 2 seasons. You know, you're going to forever be around. You know, there's never a time you can't.
your
come
name's
first
gonna
game.
be If Popovich is gonna be around that
Browns.
stadium, I'll be surprised if they don't even put a statue
Statue,
of Popovich outside the stadium because he brought this poverty franchise
Aubrey,
to
like,
one of the greatest franchises in the early 2000s.
NBA history might even, I would say, because at the end of the day, there's, they have one of the most rings.
Yeah,
That franchise had one of the most rings at the end of the day.
yeah,
So he was involved for all of them, you know.
yeah.
So that's a big shout out to him, man. He's been there for over 30 years, man. Like what a career, what a coaching career, man. What a
Yeah, crazy coaching career, but once like health gets an issue, you take
yeah,
it seriously. Obviously, everyone knows how much you love basketball.
yeah.
You're not gonna go through droughts and championships, the ups and downs and lows if you didn't love the damn game.
On God, couldn't have
But
said it
he's
better
one of the greatest
myself.
coaches. If not, he's the greatest coach in
Exactly.
NBA
If
history.
not, he is the number one. But
Yeah,
he needs to pass it on. And I saw Tim Duncan, and I believe Tony Parker. Like I've seen them around the Spurs facility and whatnot. I've seen them on the coaching staff as well.
yeah.
So that's pretty good. It seems like
It's
he
in
kind
good
of passed
hands.
the baton. It's in good hands.
Yeah,
So hopefully he passes that baton to them. But like that's another franchise that people want to go to.
Mhm.
And I think it's a little interesting with them because I feel like he has a big say over the years and who they draft and who they bring in.
Yeah,
So I sometimes I've disagreed. I've said, okay, like, you could have brought in a couple other people to help out. But, they
yeah.
really like their system and the Spurs system. And that's the thing. When the post pop era is going to be a crazy one because
It is.
we haven't seen it. Like, we haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, think about it. Like, we're in our 20s. We've
yeah.
literally never seen another person coach San Antonio. It is going
Antonio,
to be a
literally.
mind-boggling thing to see.
Yeah. Like we think about Spurs movement,
Yeah.
of how it goes, like all these factors are through him.
Yeah.
So just to see who they're going to bring in and
Yeah.
start drafting and just who they're going to put around Wemby. Because one thing
Yeah.
about that franchise now, they have more than a star.
Yeah.
They have an icon on their team. This guy is historic.
Yeah.
They have a historic player. This is a LeBron James. This is a Curry. This is a Michael Jordan. He's Wemby. This is a Shaquille O'Neal. Wemby's in that
Yeah.
conversation for
Wemby's in
real.
that conversation for how generational talent he is.
Yeah. So as long as he's healthy and continue just to do what he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
But even he just continues and does what he's been doing, gets a ring. He's going to be on an all-time.
That'd be sweet.
All-time
That would actually be super sweet. Let's talk about one more team before we wrap this up. Because obviously we can't talk about every team. But what team? Actually, I'll give you the floor. What team do you want to talk about most that we haven't really talked about? Like I don't think we've really touched spaces on the Denver Nuggets.
Oh, I'll say Nuggets and Clippers.
Okay, let's talk about those two. Let's talk about those two. All right, let's do it.
Yes, sir. So with Nuggets, I'm a big Michael Porter Jr. fan. But I understand why he had to leave. He's taking a lot of shots, but also conspiracies of his brother and whatnot. It's a good move to get him out of there. You want to make sure your franchise is nice and clean. I really think they messed up when they got rid of Mike Malone. I think they should have kept him as coach, man.
Yeah,
I think
no, 1,000%.
should have kept him as coach. He's going to do great in Sacramento, but you should have kept him. That guy's a star. That coach is a star. But Denver,
where do you see Denver placing at the end of the regular season? Do you see them making a run in the playoffs, or do you see them being a mid-table team this year just because how all the distractions have been going on? Not distractions, but how everything that's going on in Denver.
That's the thing. So Denver, they gave you 50 wins this year. So I think I can see them doing that again. 50 win gives you about fourth in the East and the West.
Yeah.
So
50 wins here will give you damn near like six
your first, second,
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Denver right now. Things aren't pretty for them because the West I think Houston is the biggest problem in the West, truly.
Yeah.
I think you have a young team that are like Houston, you have
one of the best centers too. Like they have one of the best centers.
Yeah.
Denver.
But you traded your best player for another best player.
Yeah.
They're just trying to see. They have to make sure that works out.
Yeah.
But overall, I think that's their biggest competition. But they really need to figure out what they can do to help out Jokic, because I think it's hard when Jamal Murray's going to give you 23 points a game. He's a top 15 shooting guard in the NBA, top 10 maybe even, the top 15 shooting guard. He's going to give you that. But their team, and I thought Michael Porter Jr. was that guy, that third piece.
Yeah.
You know, I guess we kind of try to
Does Aaron Gordon have to
Aaron
step
Gordon.
up? You do you think?
He did. He gave us a couple buzzer beaters, a couple highlights. But Aaron Gordon's going to give you 11 points per game.
Yeah.
He's going to give you 14 points per game. He's not going to give you 20.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So they need a guy that's going to give them 20. They thought Russell Westbrook off the bench would be that little push.
Yeah, that little jump, that little spark.
It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So I truly think that their team is they're gonna need a trade. They're gonna have to trade, man. It's the only thing that would keep their team alive. That's
Right.
to be honest. They're gonna have to trade. And just looking at their roster, they have a lot of guys that they're not going to get too much trade value, like in all honesty. But they have a good run. They have a good lineup.
Yeah, they have a good line, but I don't think the bench is not deep.
The bench is not deep. You have Curtis Jones. You have Valanciunas. You know, shout out to the former Raptor. I always liked him. You know, I always liked the guy, but he's a good backup. He's a good backup.
He's a really good backup
but that's all he is. Yeah. You need now in this NBA time, you need more than that. Yeah. That's the problem. You need more, and I don't see they're not getting more, and they're gonna rely too much on Jokic, and Jokic is gonna give you that triple-double season. He's gonna give you it. But if their team, God forbid, Jokic got injured because he's a great player. Yeah. And he's not injury prone at all. This guy stays healthy.
But let's say Keezy, let's say if Jokic goes down, their season done?
I'll put it like this. Jokic averaged 30. Jamal Murray averaged 21. Michael Porter Jr., who's gone, averaged 18.
Yeah.
Christian Braun, 15. So you have 29, 21, 15. That's not cutting it in the West.
No, terrible.
You had Aaron Gordon give you 14. You had Russell Westbrook give you 13. That's not enough.
No.
It's a shame because you're gonna have these guys give you MVP seasons, but I always said it like this: if a team can give you 3 players that give you 20,
you're in a good spot. Yeah, you're in a good spot. Yeah.
You're in a good spot, and that's what it works out. It's not worked out, but I think 2 teams that can give you 20 or 2 players that give you 30. 2 players that can give you 30 can work out. I think that even might work out better, honestly.
Yeah.
2 players that can give you 30, that's real good because then you have another player that gives you 15, another one that's going to give you 15.
Yeah.
A couple that are going to give you 10, 11.
Yeah.
That makes a good playoff run.
That's a good balanced team right there. That's a good balance.
That's the Knicks.
Yeah.
That's the Celtics.
Yeah.
You got those teams. That's Lakers. That's not Timberwolves. They don't have that. I don't believe in Julius Randle. I don't.
No.
I think he's a fraud. I think Julius Randle's a fraud, but we'll say that for another day. But I really think Julius Randle's a fraud. I truly believe the greatest thing that the Knicks did and the worst thing that Timberwolves ever done in their life was trade away Cat, and Knicks' greatest thing was getting Cat. They gave away Julius Randle and got the top 5 center in the NBA. I don't know in what world that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But now the Timberwolves are stuck with Julius Randle, who just at the end of the day was a failed Laker. A failed Laker. He was a great Knick. He was a great Knick on a Knicks team that wasn't making a championship run.
Yeah, wasn't making a run.
He would be amazing as a Wizard right now. He would be a phenomenal Wizard. Go to Washington. Get something out of him. But Timberwolves messed up on that. They had Cat, man. They had Cat. Damn shame.
That is a damn shame because Cat is one of the better players in the league.
Truly.
And it feels like the Timberwolves just wasted him.
I don't know if they thought Rudy Gobert and Cat were the same type of caliber, But
Yeah.
Rudy Gobert was getting dunked on by Wemby when he was 16. Why is a 16-year-old dunking on you? You're in the NBA. I just don't. It doesn't make sense. So at the end of the day, I don't know what money's being thrown on the table. I don't know
Yeah.
why teams are flanking on purpose.
Yeah.
And truly, the Timberwolves, they better pray that Ant wants to stay for long term,
Yeah.
because he's young. So
Yeah.
that he's getting that money right now.
He is.
27, 28, when he's really in that prime,
Mm-hmm.
that prime stretch. Right now, I don't think as much as Ant's going to say he wants a ring, I don't think he cares. I don't think that's his number one. I think Ant shoots almost as much threes as Curry.
I think
Ant,
I think Ant's could be one of the better players in this league in a
yeah,
couple of years. He's already you can already see he's already showing the superstar. Like when he played on Team USA, that was amazing.
and
Yeah.
he I Ant's Ant. He's gonna
Mm-hmm.
give you. He's gonna give you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Ant's just like I'll think Ant's like Westbrook, but just different game style, same type of intensity, same
Yeah.
type of heart. They're gonna give you everything. They're gonna leave it all on the court. That's what
100%.
that's what you can get from him every time.
Yeah.
But right now, just like Westbrook, Ant wants Ant wants that MVP.
Yeah,
Ant,
and wants an MVP, and I hope he goes for that. I hope this is the year.
I love it.
I think it's gonna be a pretty good play. What do you who do you it's a prediction? Actually, we'll wait for your prediction on this. But after you talk about and Timberwolves, we're gonna move to the Clippers. But keep on going, keep on going.
Oh, I was just saying, hopefully they still make that playoff run. Gets in at 6th seed, 7th seed, but I want 30 points a game.
Yeah,
I want 30 points. That's what it takes to be MVP. You
yeah.
got to average 30. If you're not averaging 30, you're not in the
And
conversation.
you have to
That's
average
why
damn near a triple double. You have to average like a 30-10 and like 10 or a 30-10 and 8 or something like that around those means.
I think it's a little tricky because for example, SGA averaged 30, 6 and 5.
And I think that's good enough. I think that's
But that's good enough because of how consistent. Because to be fair, it wasn't like an average 30. Like he played damn near every game.
Yeah.
It gave you that 30. He's going to give you 30 every time.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's going to give you 50, sometimes he's going to give you 40, but he's going to always give you 30.
Nothing
Whereas,
else.
you go to Jokic, where in different game, he's going to give you 25, but he's going to give you 12 rebounds and 11 assists.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's where
you see that's where you see where people say, Jokic should have won it.
Yeah,
But you could also see where Shea could have won it. But those are the best debates to have.
If Shea didn't come first in the West, he wouldn't have won MVP.
No, but look what he's doing though. He's doing it with such a young team.
Such a young
team, and they won a damn championship, and he got the MVP, Finals MVP. Am I right? Yeah, I'm 100%.
Yeah.
Shea is a superstar. I understand where if he didn't come first in that West, he was not winning it. He was not winning it. But if he did not win that MVP, you would have seen I don't even know what the playoff run would have been like for OKC.
It would have been.
I think it would be. I don't even know how this story switches. Like, does it like knock off Shea's confidence, his team's confidence? Like, I don't even know. We don't even know.
I think it could. I think it could have, honestly, because I just don't know how Indiana was able to put so much pressure.
Yeah,
I just don't know. And that scared me. I was like, Indiana?
Yeah,
they're having a crazy run. To be fair, they're having a crazy run.
Yeah,
but
Cinderella run, honestly. But let's move on to the Clippers. What do you think the Clippers are going to do this year? How do you think they're going to look this year? Just talk about it.
I think the Clippers are getting fined, man. I think right now, I think Kawhi's going to end up sitting a lot of games. I think Kawhi is not going to be out. I think until the investigation is done, I don't think Kawhi Leonard's going to play. And if Kawhi Leonard's not playing, I don't think your team's winning. No. You just got back Chris Paul. It's his last season. Like, we don't got ifs and buts. Chris Paul may not want to announce it, but if you go back to the team that you had your best years on and you're 39-40, I think we all know what that means. You're hanging it up for one last little, and lucky enough, they're not a bad team. The Clippers are a playoff contending team, but at the end of the day,
let's see how the investigation goes.
Yeah, like, it's not looking pretty for them. it makes sense from, especially for Kawhi being a former Raptors and some of the stuff we saw in the media.
Yeah.
He was taking breaks, but
Yeah.
we were winning, so it didn't matter
Yeah, it
to
didn't
us.
even matter. The fans
It didn't
didn't
matter.
care.
But Clippers aren't in that same media where they're such in a big media in LA. Are they the better LA team? There's that whole brawl with them.
Yeah.
So you got to have your best player playing, and if he's taking breaks and your team is not bouncing back, I think at the end of the day, Clippers gave you 50 and 32. So
It wasn't bad.
again, not bad at all, but is that enough to give you that win? Is that enough to give you that I'm going to be the MVP of the season? Like, that's no. But
Oh.
they have a guy that I will truly say Kawhi Leonard is probably a top 10 player in the NBA. At the end of the day, I think Kawhi is the best defender in the NBA. So he was a top 10 player, but he's the number one.
But he just has to
defender.
play, man. He just has to play to prove it.
Has to play. Because I've seen it in too many years.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard be the difference maker of that.
San Antonio, he was
not.
the difference maker in San Antonio.
Honestly,
He was the difference maker on why the Raptors got over the hump. Yeah, some say it's because LeBron left, but DeMar DeRozan wasn't making that big of a difference.
It wasn't, and I think Clippers can honestly be one of those. It could be a fairy tale season.
That'd be sweet.
I think James Harden and Chris Paul in the backcourt is a great duo. They got Bogdan as well, that great shooter, great forward. But at the end of the day, they're going to need Kawhi. They're going to need 100% out of Kawhi. Zubac's a top 10 center in the NBA.
Beast, yeah, he's a beast.
He's going to give you that. Norman Powell off the bench, even sometimes starting, going to give you that. But they're going to need Kawhi Leonard that's going to give you that 26 points per game.
And that's why that's why they paid him a damn near $1 trillion to play the damn basketball games and be the superstar that everyone knows you are.
Because for some reason, like I'm not sure, is it because we're in the East with Kawhi, but you can't in the West, you can't take those days off. And that's the thing. At Spurs, it wasn't working. Pop wasn't having it. And that's why Kawhi was happy with there was so much bad things in the locker room coming out about Kawhi. And then we get the miracle trade of a lifetime of Kawhi for DeRozan. We get lucky. We win a ring that year as well. Yeah. And then he leaves. And then we hear the same problems.
Yeah.
So
how many games did he play last year? 37, right? Something like that in the 30s.
Yeah.
But like he was also hurt, right? But is it hurting? Did he get hurt? Like we don't know. Like is it just his load management? Because I know the year before he played majority of the games the year before in 2024. He played majority of the games. I'm pretty sure he played 60 games, something like that.
Yeah, 68. He played 68, but for example, I put like this. He played 37 games last season. The year before that gave you 68. Great, Kawhi's going to give you 50 games.
That's the average. Games. How many games did he play for the Raptors?
60. Gave us 60.
Right. And that's fine. Taking 12 games off. Like, I like that.
It's not bad.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
He suits up playoffs. Playoffs, he suits up.
Yeah. But then it makes sense, though, because he's going to give you 50 games. Fans want to play all 82. It's impossible. It's impossible for, I think, an NBA player to play all 82. When you see a player in the NBA play 82 games, a superstar play 82 games.
Knicks.
Yeah.
One of a kind team, though.
That is one of a kind. But that's the crazy thing. It's like that is surprising. You don't see that. You don't see superstars playing all 82.
And honestly, I'm okay with it. I don't like it. I don't want superstars to play all 82. My best players shouldn't play all 82 games.
Exactly. And that's why I always think, why doesn't the National Basketball Association shorten the league? Because I bet if you go to 72 games, you're going to see superstars try to play all 72 or damn near 60 games. I 100% agree. I believe that if you shorten the season just a little bit, same as like you see in soccer, like you have these players playing so much throughout the year, they get injured. These players, at the end of the day, they don't want to get injured. So you got to take off a little bit of load management for them, or they're going to find loopholes to do it themselves. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, how many times especially centers, how many times do we see a great center and then boom,
two plays a couple games, gets injured. It's a damn shame, but
And,
it
and
happens.
and and what the Raptors did too was the greatest thing for load management. 22 games off. Like,
Like,
like that. If people are gonna look at that, he's like, damn, he missed 22 games. No, the way that they did load management, he didn't have to play all sometimes three to
exactly.
four games in a week. He didn't have to do that. That's how good the team was. But the team wasn't even the greatest. No superstar has to play 4 times a week. That is ridiculous.
I'll put it like this: OKC and Denver, they can't have they can't play games without their star players.
Yeah, and that's where it's gonna come. Or if you can find a good bench, if you can find a decent lineup without your superstars, then they can take it off. But they don't
Yeah.
have that. The Shea, when you have the heartbeat missing games, the whole team's just derailed.
But to shout to Shea, he's really Mr. Consistent. So
Yeah,
he really doesn't miss games. He
yeah.
really
Like
he's
how many games did he play?
I
Like how
think
many
let
games?
me
He
look. I wouldn't be surprised if he almost played all 82.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at that either. Because I honestly I can't even if I'm mistaken, I want to say he played a minimum 75.
No, to even be in MVP races, I think you have to pay about like
Y-
60,
Yeah, you
at
had to
least
say,
60.
but I know he had a couple games off near the end of the season because when they already clinched stuff like that, like near last month. But I want to say he played 70 games. But I think he played almost 82 games. I know the year before that.
Yeah, 76. Yeah.
76 games. He played 76 games. See, Shea's always going to be there on the court. If he can play, he can go.
Wow. Even when he was on Clippers, like he played all 82 games.
See, surprising.
That's 82 games. Then he got traded to OKC, 70 games, got injured 35,
What was he averaging when he played all 82?
10. But that's his rookie season.
Yeah, that was really, yeah. How crazy is that the game they traded him?
82
Um,
games, rookie. Wow.
yeah, like that's for a rookie playing all 82. Surprising. That is great.
Yeah.
That is great. You wouldn't want a guy on your roster? Let's trade him away.
But
You
if you
want a guy
think
that
about it,
plays all 82? That's consistent. Ah, okay, let's trade him away.
he's averaged 30 for the last 3 years.
Dog. He's a dog from Hamilton,
Dog.
Ontario. From Hamilton,
Hamilton,
Ontario.
Ontario, man. That's
Like,
crazy, man.
that was crazy. Like, oh my God, that is crazy. Canadian guy.
And like at the end of the day, who knows? He might win MVP again. I think he'll be very.
At some point in his career, if he wins back to back, now that would be unreal.
I think it'll be harder for him to
Yeah,
win an MVP again.
because you have to up
I
your
don't.
last year's season, and you have to be better than whatever the front runner in front of you are.
Because his team would have to. I think if they get like 70, like what did Warriors do? 72-10
Yeah,
one
70.
time.
Yeah, 72 and 9 or 70, 73 and 9.
73-9, maybe, yeah. Maybe it could have been the Bulls that were 72-10 and Golden State got to 72, 33-9. But if they have a season like that, maybe you
Yeah,
can get that.
yeah.
It'll be a good way to say,
With him
yeah,
and him averaging like 30, 10, 9.
he's gonna give you 30, but I don't see 10 rebounds
Yeah,
out
I
of
know,
him.
but I'm saying like 10 assists, 9
Okay.
rebounds, maybe like something like that. Like something around that. I just
Even
put it in the wrong order.
assists. Like
Yeah.
OKC, like that's like honestly, I think they got lucky, man. Because if you look at their roster, their depth, their team had an MVP. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
team had an MVP, so they won.
Yeah.
Because honestly, their team has together fourth in points per game,
Yeah.
11th in rebounds per game, 12th in assists per game, third in offensive possessions per game. So like they're not the best in these categories,
No.
but they had a
They had
star
Shea.
caliber. They had Shea.
They
And
had
that's
Shea,
all
man.
that
That's
matters.
GA, man. That's all that matters at the end of the day. And all that matters is who lifted the trophy. And that's
Honestly.
OKC. But I don't see them two-peating. But I want to hear your prediction here. Who do you predict to win MVP of the NBA this year?
As much as I want it to be Brandon Ingram, gotta hope
That
for
would be sweet.
Raptors. Honestly, I think it's gonna be. I have two players. I have like a breakout player, and I have like a kind of solid. I think it's gonna be them. So I think it's gonna be Giannis. I think Giannis is gonna have a crazy season in the East. I think it's
He's
gonna
angry
be.
too. He's hungry.
Yeah, I've seen the way he's been posting. He had a great international run. He lost to like Turkey or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's hungry. He's hungry. He's performing good, and his brother just got signed for a contract. So
Yeah.
he's
Keeping
just
it in
sort
the
of
family.
yeah,
Family
exactly.
business.
So I think that's gonna be a crazy, and also I don't think they have enough help as much. So I think he's just gonna have. He did not winning
He's
the
just gonna have
ring.
to go on for it. He's just gonna have to go off.
Yeah, like he's gonna give us like 35, maybe. I think
Yeah,
Young's
I'd be
gonna have a
under.
crazy season like that.
Yeah.
And then kind of the breakout star that I think might get it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a healthy John Morant season
I
and
would love that. I
maybe
would
maybe
love
he gets
that.
up there,
Yeah.
maybe.
I
I
would
would I
love that.
wouldn't be surprised. One thing that he struggled with is of course staying, like in
Out,
the
out of the headlines. I mean, he's struggling to stay out of the headlines.
exactly,
But
trying to
maybe
stay
if he
safe.
does that, maybe if he calms down a little bit on the off season and off the basketball court,
Exactly.
maybe he can go off.
Exactly. And hopefully, the right type of go off, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Not the gun.
So so hopefully he gets those season. I think the way other superstars have talked about John Morant, I
Yeah.
personally I always liked Ant a little bit more, but people believe that this guy is groundbreaking and that he could really be something. And that's the way the media has talked about him prior to some of the stuff he has been doing. I think this guy can really made that change. And even when we saw a good Golden State, we saw him going back to them. We saw him beating the Lakers. We see him beating teams that we
Yeah.
don't always expect. But one thing we've also have seen is that sometimes the Grizzlies play better without him, and that's
And
been
that's been a shocker a little bit, but that's
yeah,
how good that they can be though. With if they just play that good without Ja, imagine what they can do when they play with Ja for a
ex-
full
ex-
season.
exactly. But then you got to make sure that he's staying healthy, and that's
Yeah.
one thing he struggled with, man.
Yeah.
He sadly doesn't like that's one thing about a lot of players, which again we can talk about that 60, 70 game season.
Yeah.
Players don't stay healthy. By January All-Star break, we already see like crazy amount of top players out just
And
because
sometimes they're out for the remainder of the season,
season.
right before the All-Star
Yeah.
break.
Like
It's
we're
it's
like
honestly
that's a problem with
it's
the
crazy.
76ers. They have Paul George injury prone. They also have Joel Embiid injury prone. But Tyrese Maxey, great guard, great young guard. But you have two other guys that are great players individually. Have one's an MVP, former MVP. But at the end of the day, these guys don't stay healthy. They can't give you 60 games. They can't. We don't
Yeah.
know. They are going to give us 45, 50.
Yeah.
And with Embiid, we really got to hope for even 50. We really got to hope for even.
Yeah. And so, do you think the 76ers are terrible this year?
I think they're never terrible,
But do you
but
think they're going to make the playoffs? 'Cause I think you remember that. What was that
yeah,
saying?
they'll make the playoffs.
Trust the process. Its process is over.
Do you,
Process is over.
do you see Embiid ever leaving that team?
No, but he should. But he should. But also, I just got breaking news too. That just got reported. The Curry brothers are teaming up on a 1-year deal this year. That's pretty. I think that's good for the Warriors.
Wow. That is good. But that kind of tells me what I need to know. That kind of tells me what I need to know.
I think it tells everybody a 35-year-old joining the team. I
Play
think
with
they're
his
going.
brother. He pulled a Giannis. He pulled a Giannis. He wants to play
Yeah.
with his brother. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Curry's gonna
does that say
retire.
that? So this is going to be Curry's brother's final year in the NBA. He just wants to team up with
He
his.
just wants to team with his bro.
Yeah, he just wants to play with his bro.
They'd
Does
both
that
be
mean?
Warriors.
Yeah, Seth and Steph.
Yeah, the real splash. This guy got rid of one splash, bro. Got the real one.
He got the blood splash, bro.
Got the blood splash, bro.
But I'm gonna
That's
ask you
crazy.
this. I'm gonna ask you this too. Yeah, pretty cool that they're teaming up. Who do you think is going to win Rookie of the Year? You could go to the easy answer, and what I think is going to be Cooper Flagg. He's a generational talent. Do you think it's going to be Cooper Flagg also, or do you think there's going to be a surprise in the NBA?
I'm hoping for Colin Boyles. I'm hoping the Raptors.
Yeah,
They locked in with the draft and they got that wing player. He's a
yeah,
top. He's the top 4 in his position, top 13 ranked player overall. So at the end of the day, that skill level gap that we've seen throughout all the years, a lot of players that top 3, top 4, you don't
yeah,
know. Cooper Flagg, yeah, he looks good. Cooper Flagg looks real good. But at the end of the day, you know, how much is he going to average
yeah,
besides Kyrie Irving, besides Anthony Davis? It takes time.
yeah.
But how much is Boyles going to average, possibly getting 25 minutes,
Yeah, getting big
24
time
minutes,
minutes, getting big time minutes right off the jump.
besides Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett,
Yeah,
a very young
yeah,
team
yeah.
that you can. There's no veteran there really. I don't believe there's anyone on that Raptors team that was on that 2019 roster actually.
No, zero.
But
All of them are gone.
all of them are gone. All these guys are ringless. You have a very different culture than joining Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving, who literally just played with LeBron James.
Yeah,
Like
like
these
that's
guys,
some special stuff right there.
these guys
But
are going to develop Cooper Flagg amazingly.
yeah,
But do I think they're going to get Cooper Flagg? I'm not even sure if Cooper Flagg's going to average 20. I think he's going to give us 16. I think he's going to give us a solid 16. But I know. Let me find the guy's name. He got drafted to the Hornets. He's supposed to be pretty good. He's supposed to be pretty good. I was pretty. Let me find it because I think the Hornets honestly can. I'm not gonna say are gonna win a ring, but
but are they gonna like go with this guy? Who do you think? Who are you thinking of?
oh no, it wasn't Hornets. It was Jazz. Ace Bailey.
Oh, Ace
Yes,
Bailey. Yes, Ace Bailey.
yes.
Yeah,
So he had a lot of stock to him. He came with a little bit of different energy. Wasn't trying out with a lot of teams.
no,
Kind of believed in himself, and that he kind of tried to force his way to a certain team. But Jazz pick him up and say, "Hey, we're gonna try this out." So hopefully that works out. Um, I think Jazz is at a franchise where they're looking to switch things up a little bit. They're in a new era. They're post Donovan Mitchell era. I think they're trying to find their feeding again. Especially in the
yeah,
West, it's
yeah,
hard. So I think that's the perfect team if you're a good player to get experience on without veterans without having to make a real honest playoff run.
yeah.
I think he's on the perfect team for that because Cooper Flag off the go. If Dallas don't make the playoffs next year, if they're not a top 8 seed, top 10,
Yeah,
we're not even talking play-in. If Dallas don't make the run, their coach is getting fired, first of all,
yeah,
because you gave away Luka. So your coach is getting fired.
yeah.
Second of all, you have Kyrie Irving and you have Anthony Davis. These are 2 guys in their prime.
This is you got to make a run here,
You got to make a run here.
and
So
there's no excuses. There's no injuries could be an excuse, but there's no excuses when they're all healthy.
and I believe Cooper Flag, he's the guy.
I think so
Straight
too.
on the
Generational talent,
generational talent. But is it too much pressure just straight off the bat?
and we're gonna wait and find out. We're gonna wait and see, but I think so. I like what you're saying. I think it can be too much pressure, and I think it honestly might be too much pressure.
He might do it 3-4 years down the line.
Yeah,
I think he might be that guy. I believe he could be that guy. But let's be real.
hmm
We've never seen a rookie take off and have an MVP year.
no,
We've seen Derrick Rose after his rookie year,
and that was special.
and that was special.
Yeah,
It takes 3
it
years.
takes time,
Takes
but
a little bit of time.
yeah, yeah, for sure, he's not gonna be an MVP until like maybe 5 years in the league.
But do we
Rookie of
think?
the year though, rookie of the year, he might. It depends on the class goes. He might just have to average a nice sleazy 15.
But is that enough? Because he's going to start. He's
Yeah,
going to start on this
yeah,
team. So as a starting small forward, you're beside Kyrie Irving and you're beside Anthony Davis. Kyrie's going to average somewhere in the 20s. He's going to give you maybe 22. That's the thing now. Does Kyrie have to average a 26? Is
You better
MVP
hope so. You better hope so. He does.
because Kyrie Irving to me, like he could be that guy.
Yeah.
I no denying it. Kyrie Irving, he's special. Kyrie Irving is special. So I feel like Kyrie Irving, maybe he's going to average 26. Maybe he's going to give you maybe, but I don't. I think he's a little older. Like Kyrie Irving's been here for a little while now, so I
Yeah.
think he's a little older. He's not Chris Paul old, but you know he he might give him. Kyrie Irving might have an MVP season. I'll put it like that. If
Sweet.
Dallas needs to win,
Yeah.
Kyrie Irving needs to have an MVP season.
If
Cooper Flag gives you
yeah.
16.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. But
I'm good for that.
I really like your pick on the rookie of the year too. But I like the argument that you just put right there. Speaking like a professional insider right there,
Fancy.
McFesty. But McFesty, we're gonna wrap it up
Yes,
right
sir.
here. But McFesty, I gotta ask you, are you gonna come on each week or whenever you can?
Yeah, I hope to be here every week, man. Like, I hope
All
you can
right, there we
yeah.
go. McFesty, you guys are going to see him probably every Wednesday because this is coming out on Wednesday.
Oh,
We'll
yes,
record this
sir.
on Tuesday, depending on the schedules. Because, McFesty doing big things. I'm so proud of you, brother.
I
We
appreciate
grinded
you,
3 years together in college. We
Yeah,
grinded,
man.
man, those years.
Bro,
Um,
if they knew the stories, man.
McFesty has always put a good word in for me too with commentating. He actually, people that don't know that, he's actually the reason why I commentated Mohawk
Give me to his
sports.
credit, brother.
And he's actually
Credit.
the reason why I'm actually commentating the Hamilton Hurricanes right now. This is the face of the guy
Nah,
that's
man.
been in
Your
me.
your talent is beyond, brother. Your talent's beyond, brother. You
Man,
do things.
I really appreciate that. But Weaving Dreams and the Hamilton Film Festival, October 21st.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yes,
and you said
sir.
there's another weekend, right? 26th?
Yeah, October 21st and the 26th. Yep.
Go watch it. Go to the Hamilton Film Festival. Watch this documentary, Weaving Dreams, McFeshy, man. Thank you for coming on. This has been the NBA season preview.
Yeah.
Season preview. We will see you guys next weekend then to talk about how the preseason goes. I'm Dale Federico. This has been McFesty. This has been the Dale Federico Show. Ciao.